Morning everyone. Chào quý vị. One of the fundamentals of cultivation is to develop what my late Chinese teacher said, the Dharma selecting eye. Một cái căn bản về cái tu luyện là theo Ngài Tiến Hóa dạy đó, là phải phát triển cái con trạch pháp nhãn, con mắt được nhận ra pháp. Dharma selecting eye meaning what? When you engage in any kind of spiritual practice, you must be able to spot and recognize you adopting the proper technique, the proper approach. Có nghĩa là sao? Có nghĩa là trạch pháp nhãn, có nghĩa là khi quý vị tu đó, quý vị phải cần nhận thức được rằng đó, cái pháp quý vị tu là đúng. Tại vì nếu mà tu cái pháp bất trật á, là quý vị sẽ đi lạc được. Because if you select the wrong approach, if you select the wrong methodology, you will go astray. You will not reach your destination. Okay? And so that is the first thing you do when you learn meditation or you learn tantras or you learn anything at all. You need to be able to recognize and that's the proper thing to do. That's a proper approach. Okay? Thành bất cứ cái tu theo cái đường lối nào, cái tôn giáo nào, cái việc phải nhận ra được cái pháp môn, cái con đường, cái cách tu luyện nó chính chắn. Thế nên if it is proper, then follow it, pursue it. If it's not proper, then don't do it. It's not worth it. Tại nếu cái vị nhận ra được nó đúng, chính đáng thì cái vị nên theo, nên tu luyện theo. Nếu không chính đáng thì không nên tu theo. That's very important. Okay. And so what is Dharma selecting eye? How do you develop it? Làm sao mình phát triển được cái con mắt trạch pháp nhãn này? How do you think? How can you recognize it's a proper Dharma? Làm sao nhận được đó là cái pháp chính đáng? Yes, sao nào? What? As a master. Very good. Hỏi với thầy. What if the master does not know? Là trường hợp mà ông thầy không biết sao? What is your answer? Wait until what? No, what if the master, the teacher you ask, doesn't really know?
If he doesn't know?
What if he doesn't know? How can you be sure your teacher knows? That's a problem we all have. Okay? Unlike you, when you only come to the temple once a week, if you're lucky, or we are lucky, excuse me. For us, we devote our lives, for left home people, we devote our lives to pursue this path. How do we know it's the right one? How do we know? Tại cái vị biết không? Cái vị người tại gia không nói gì là tại vì cái vị không có thỉnh thoảng tới chùa, là thỉnh thoảng tu một tí thôi thì không sao. Còn những người chúng tôi, người xuất gia làm sao biết là cái pháp là cái pháp đúng như vậy? How do you know? Bhante Ratana, how do you know it's the right path? Oh boy. I'm really forcing the Venerable Bhante here to improve his English very quickly. It's not, hello, how are you today? It's like, what's wrong with my life? Thầy này tội lắm, mới qua, mới chân ướt chân ráo, mới 1 tháng mà thầy học tiếng Anh chưa xong thì thầy bị hỏi là ngày hôm nay thầy có khỏe không? Thầy nói ngày hôm nay làm sao cuộc đời tôi có ý nghĩa? Và ông phải trả lời, yes, go ahead. How do you know?
Good morning, everybody. So I think we have to understand our Dhamma and Master. Both. According to my idea,
Yes.
We have to understand Dhamma and our Master also.
The Dharma and the Master also.
Yes.
Okay, can you translate that? Okay. Vì thầy Tích Lan thầy nói là muốn biết đúng hay là không thì phải biết cái hai chuyện. Thứ nhất là cái pháp, thứ nhì là cái người thầy. Yes, please continue. How interesting.
Because in our Theravada Sutras mentioned, not only we don't want to put our priority on Dhamma, or not only the Master.
You want both or you want just one or two?
We want both.
You want both.
Yes.
Theo truyền thống của Nguyên Thủy được của thầy thầy phải chú trọng hai cái bên luôn. Yes.
But not everything depends on the Master.
Everything depends on the Master. Nhưng tất cả đều lệ thuộc vào ông thầy. Yes.
Step by step we have to get understand about Dhamma, and then we can understand about the Master also. So, but first thing is we have to put our priority in the Dhamma. So when we gain some understanding about Dhamma, then we get values on Master also.
Yes. So let me restate it for you. First of all, you learn about the Dharma, the method, and in learning about the method, then you also are supposed to learn about the Master, the teacher as well. Okay. Why would you want to learn about the teacher? What is your purpose? Thứ nhất mình phải học cái pháp, thứ nhì trong khi mà học cái pháp mình sẽ hiểu được người thầy hơn. Thì thầy hỏi hiểu người thầy về cái gì? What is it you're trying to understand about the teacher?
Because as a devoted people, as devoted people, we have dedicated our many things to practice Dhamma. So when we want to get right thing from Dhamma, so we have to consider that the Master also give to us the right thing according to Dhamma. So I think, but Buddha has explained in his last sermon. Yoko Ananda Maya Dhammocha Vinyocha Jesito Panyatto So Mamachayena Acharyo.
All right. That's Pali for?
Yes, its meaning is if I have preached any Dhamma and Vinaya, the teachings and this discipline, this is your teacher.
I see.
Yes.
Okay, so Venerable Ratana says that you learn about the Dharma, and then in learning the Dharma, you learn from the teacher, and you learn with the teacher. You want to make sure that the teacher teaching is consistent with the Dharma, right? And ultimately, your ultimate teacher, as Buddha's last words is, morality, precepts, Vinaya.
Both Dhamma and Vinaya.
Yeah, Vinaya is, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right, thì thầy nhắc lại, thầy Tích Lan nhắc lại là mình học pháp, học cái chính pháp, cái pháp đúng đã. Xong khi mà học pháp như vậy thì mình hiểu người thầy mình dạy đúng với cái pháp. Thì cái người thầy dạy, cái lời dạy người thầy nó chính xác và nó tương ứng với pháp mà Đức Phật dạy. Và sau cuối cùng là một cái quan trọng nhất đối với mình là cái giới luật và cái pháp. Okay. Anyway, it's boring to you. What do you think? What is? How do you recognize it? The rest of you. How do you recognize it's a proper dharma as you practice? Okay, it's just the same thing. You go out, hop in your car. You know exactly which way you're going to take, right? To get what you want. If you take the wrong road, you won't get there. As simple as that. Okay. Giống như vì mỗi ngày mình lên xe, lái xe vậy, phải nhận ra con đường mình đi, cái đường nào để tới cái mục tiêu của mình. Không đi trật đường sao tới được. Yes, Sarah.
Read sutra.
Read sutras, đọc kinh. Why do you need to read sutras?
Because that's the original Buddha's teaching.
Very good. Đọc kinh. That's right. That's how you learn the Dharma, by reading the sutras, right? Because it records the Buddha's exact teachings. Thì thứ nhất Đại Hàn cô nói là đầu tiên hết mình nên đọc kinh. Đọc kinh là tại vì kinh là cái lời dạy của Phật. It's very good.
In Theravada Tripitaka, in Mahaparinirvana Sutra, it has mentioned very clearly. And in we call Sutra Pitaka. In Sutra Pitaka is Kalama Sutra.
Yes.
It also mentioned this reason very clearly. You have to put your priority on Dhamma and discipline.
Right. Here's a problem. Okay. Very good. So let me put it this way for you. You know, you're supposed, since you want to learn about the proper technique, the proper Dharma. Okay, first of all, the wisest teacher from a Buddhist perspective is the Buddha. Okay? Bây giờ quý vị biết mình cần phải học cái Pháp, mà quý vị biết cái người mà có trí huệ nhất trên cái thế gian này là Đức Phật. And that's why you should consult his teachings. We all agree on that, right? If you believe that God is the wisest person on earth, you should be consulting the words of God. Okay? Simple as that, right? And quý vị cũng giống như bên công chú giáo, quý vị nghĩ là Đức Thượng Đế là cái vị mà có trí huệ nhất, thì quý vị nên đọc những cái lời dạy Đức Thượng Đế để học cái Pháp của Ngài. So, we need to consult the teachings of the wisest person. Agree on that, right? Why? Because the wisest person knows what's best for you. Okay? Cái người mà có trí huệ là người mà có thể giúp quý vị nhiều nhất. It can be most beneficial for you. The teaching is most beneficial for you. Okay, so you read the teachings. The problem arises and this is, I'm explaining along, I'm elaborating the principle behind Vimaratana's explanation. Okay, thầy chỉ giảng thêm cái lời mà thầy Tích Lan giảng. Basically, it says, you learn about the Dharma, learn about the Buddha's teaching, okay? But you can't always understand what he means. Để cái khó là cái lời dạy của kinh đó, của Phật đó, hay là của Thượng Đế, chưa chắc mình hiểu được. You don't necessarily are capable, you can't always understand it. Mình hiểu không được. That's where the master comes in. Đó mới gặp cần thầy. Right. So you need, like the Venerable Bhante Ratana says, he says, you in the process of learning the Dharma, you learn more about the teacher, because the teacher, whether he or she is able to elaborate and help you explain clearly what the Buddha means or what God means. Thành chẳng hạn như khi vị đọc kinh điển mà không hiểu được thì phải cần hỏi một cái người mà có trí thức mà hiểu được, thì nên hỏi người thầy. thì người thầy quý vị sẽ khám phá ra người thầy có hiểu được là không hiểu được cái lời dạy của kinh. Are we making sense? So we think the process that the objective is to understand more about the Dharma. Okay, mình vẫn tìm hiểu cái pháp, right? And the Dharma is clarified by the teacher. Thì cái pháp phải được người thầy rọi cái đèn vào. Because the fact of the matter is that none of us can possibly understand the depth of these wise teachings. Tại vì sự thật là tất cả chúng ta không ai có đủ khả năng để mà hiểu được cái chiều sâu của cái lời dạy. We all agree on that, right? We're limited. There's so much we can see, so much we can understand. Sức mình có hạn, mình có thể thấy được bao nhiêu, mình có hiểu được bao nhiêu đó thôi. That's why we need someone who's more experienced, who's better than us, that can help you understand. Mình cần những người thầy. That's the role of a teacher, right? And Veneravaratana is very experienced. He's been a monk for how many years now? Long time. You can see the white hair, his face, his head. Nhưng vị thầy này làm là thầy tu lâu năm rồi, hơn 20 năm rồi, okay? Thành ra kinh nghiệm lắm. So he's doing the right thing. He tells it, okay, so you say, is the teacher's explanation consistent with the Buddha's teaching? That's what you're supposed to check, right? Anh đọc như vậy thì mình coi thử là cái lời dạy của người thầy có đúng với theo cái nghĩa của Phật không? Okay? Right? And ultimately, you don't put it right. You don't put a link. Maybe I attribute it to your lack of precision in English. Okay. Thầy nói cái này là tại vì ông thầy ông nói để không rõ ràng. Tại vì thầy coi tại cái anh văn còn yếu. How do you verify that the teachers is consistent with the Buddha's teaching? You cannot. Again, you don't have the wisdom. Okay. Quý vị biết không? Làm sao quý vị check được là cái lời dạy người thầy nó có lý với cái Phật được? You cannot always recognize it. Am I correct? Can you?
Yes, not always, but when we deal and when we explain, when we explain something, so and if I have gained some understanding about teaching, so then we can compare.
Even if you're unable, you are able to see consistencies, right? As you learn along, okay? Khi quý vị càng tu càng biết pháp thì càng ngày càng thấy, càng hiểu pháp thì càng ngày cái lời dạy thấy được lời dạy của thầy nó có is the teacher's explanation consistent? Agree with the teachings? Mình thấy được lời dạy của thầy nó có tương ứng với cái lời dạy không? Có lời kinh điển không? Number one. Number two, what you talked about is that you also look at the morality. The teachings is a teaching about goodness. I don't know the Catholic teaching, so allow me stick for today, if you don't mind, to the Buddhist teachings only, okay? Because I would tell you that, as far as I know, even like I venture to say that even in Catholicism, they talk about the Ten Commandments. What is it? It's about goodness. It's all about goodness. Okay? Same thing. Our Vinaya is about goodness. We teach you about doing only the good things and undoing the bad things, right? Not doing the bad things. Thành ra bên Phật giáo chúng ta, những bên Công giáo, tôi Công giáo có cái 10 cái luật, giới luật của Thượng Đế tạo ra. Thì đó là cái giới luật, đó là về cái thiện. Thì Phật giáo mình cũng vậy. Phật giáo mình, cái giới luật bên Phật giáo mình, cái quan trọng bên mình là mình học cái thiện, mình ở trụ ở cái thiện và tránh cái ác. Okay, so another way you can check for, as Veneravaratana says, is that even if you don't understand the depth of the teaching, you instinctively you know what's good and bad, what's right and wrong. Okay? Mặc dù không hiểu được cái chiều sâu của lời dạy như được biết trong cái thâm tâm quý vị hiểu được, nhận ra được cái thiện và cái ác. Okay? And that supersedes everything. Cái thiện ác là nó quan trọng hết tất cả, hơn hết tất cả. Think about it. If you claim you're wise, nếu quý vị thực sự mà nói là nghĩ mình có trí huệ, then you will never do any harm. I can assure you of that. Okay? You never do any harm. You don't do evil. You do goodness. That's what it's about. Okay? Thành nên thực sự quý vị có trí huệ thì quý vị sẽ không bao giờ làm cái chuyện ác đâu, không làm cái chuyện tà ác đâu. Okay? Mà chỉ vì làm chuyện tốt thôi. We agree on that? Okay. Anything else? Có ý kiến gì khác không? Does it help? It's about if you want to have wisdom, quý vị, I repeat, if you want to have wisdom, your evolution towards wisdom is to become a better person. That's what it's about. Okay? The path you're taking is that, yes, we are still working at it, but our aspiration is the practice will bring you, will elevate you, make you more lofty, will make you become a better person. And that is how you can become happier. You know that the happiest person on earth are the kindest and the nicest people. That's the Buddha. Anh quý vị biết không? Cái con đường mà tu hành nó cuối cùng nó phải đi tới cái thiền. Cái thiền là cái quan trọng nhất. Tại cái người mà có trí huệ không bao giờ hại người khác, không bao giờ làm chuyện tà ác, không bao giờ chỉ làm chuyện thiện. Cái đó là thực sự có trí huệ. Okay. Và cái đó mới là đưa tới cái chân hạnh phúc. Cái hạnh phúc là từ cái thiện, từ cái tốt. Chứ hạnh phúc không thể nào có trong cái ác được. Because let me assure you, it's impossible for you to be happy if it is at the expense of hurting someone else. You cannot feel happy. I will tell you, I can assure you of that. Thì cam đoan quý vị, nếu quý vị, cái hạnh phúc quý vị đó không thể nào dựa trên cái sự bất hạnh hay sự hại của người khác. Không thể nào có được. It's impossible. Why? Tại sao như vậy? Because if however you justify yourself in hurting someone to get what you want, tại vì nếu như mặc dù quý vị bất cứ dùng cái lý luận nào, cái lý do nào để mà tự đính chính, để mà nói là tôi làm hại người ta tại vì tôi có cái lý do, you know, you may get you want, quý vị có thể đạt tới mục tiêu của mình, but in the back of your mind, right here, behind here, in your heart, you feel something is wrong. You feel it's not right. Something is off, and it's some kind of remorse, some kind of internal shame that bothers you. Okay, and if you choose to ignore it long enough, then you become truly evil. And if you're evil, I don't see how you can possibly be happy, because you bring unhappiness to everyone else. How can you possibly be happy yourself? You bring unhappiness to your husband. You bring happiness to your daughters. Okay? How can you possibly be happy? Okay? All right. Any questions about this? Yes.
What if the person has more function in the brain and can't feel what is...
You mean like only a thought but not in action yet? No?
Like, some people have mental disability or
Yes.
So they hurt but not intentionally.
Right.
So how, like if you are blessed enough to know that, you feel wrong that you are hurting somebody, so you don't do it. But what if people that don't have that ability?
Mm-hmm.
Are they like that because they did something bad in the past, or is it going to influence in the future for their lives?
There's different combinations. It's a good question. Câu hỏi là trường hợp chẳng hạn như khi mình biết được là xấu với tốt. Như trường hợp có những người không hiểu được cái xấu thì sao? Okay, thì cái trường hợp nó là sao? Thì thầy trả lời là có nhiều cái khía cạnh khác nhau. There's so many different variations. Okay. It's not about what others are. I'm only addressing this with all of you today. It's about you recognizing right or wrong. It's about you recognizing that if you want to get what you want to get to your destination, you have to practice the proper thing, the proper methodology. Okay? If someone else cannot recognize good or bad, it's a problem they need to address themselves. It's beyond you, beyond me. It has to be a specific person before we can try to address it. Does it make sense? We can't simply talk in theory, Shana, because it's so many combinations and permutations. It's just impossible to talk about cover all the grounds. Okay. The objective is, going back to the theme of today, you should be able to recognize what is the proper Dharma, right? The Dharma selecting eye. Is this a proper thing? Then let's follow it. It's not, that's improper, let's get out. Okay? Let's not get engaged with this thing here, because it will bring us into trouble. It will be a waste of our time. Nên là quý vị, thì trả lời lại cái đó là nó nhiều cái trường hợp khác nhau, trả lời không được. Cái từng người thì giải quyết cái trường hợp cá nhân mỗi người thì nó khác, nó dễ hơn. Thầy nói muốn trở về lại cái vấn đề ngày hôm nay là muốn nói về cái trạch pháp nhãn, thì mình phải nhận ra cái pháp đó đúng là không đúng. Okay? So you recognize it by listening, by reading the sutras. This is summarizing. Quý vị nhận cái pháp bằng cách nào? Quý nhận pháp bằng cách đọc kinh. Okay? You recognize by reading sutras. You recognize by studying the teachings. Nhận ra bằng cách mình học những cái lời giảng. Okay, that's why we spend a lot of time. Well, I spent a lot of time in the last several years to explain sutras. Okay, because to help you understand what the sutras mean. Bởi vì thầy bỏ 7 năm trời này, 7-8 năm trời này, bỏ rất nhiều giờ để mà giảng pháp cho quý vị nghe, giảng những kinh cho quý vị nghe. Tại sao vậy? Tại quý vị không có hiểu kinh. You know, I talk to my monks here, and they tell me, it's amazing now you learn more about. It seems that people read sutras and they misunderstand sutras. Tại vì sao? Họ nói chuyện mấy cái vị sa di này, họ nói tại là đọc kinh trước giờ mà cứ tưởng mình hiểu kinh, thực ra không có hiểu kinh. Okay, it's very important to recognize that. In Mahayana, by the way, Bhante, we emphasize choosing the proper teacher. That's what Shana said. Bên Đại Thừa mình đã chọn người thầy. Okay? Because we skip the one step. Mình bỏ cái bước này. We don't worry about the sutra teachings. Mình không cần học kinh nữa. Okay? Because if you find a teacher who does not explain sutras, what do? Move on. Right? Because the teacher is supposed to help you understand what the Buddha is teaching. See, if the teacher does not explain sutras, then he's not providing you depth. Easy. Thành ra quý vị thấy người đi đường tắt, bên Đại Thừa mình chọn người thầy ngay lập tức. Mình không cần chọn kinh. Tại sao vậy? Tại người thầy mà giỏi tự động phải giảng kinh cho quý vị nghe. Tại cái bổn phận người thầy là phải giảng giúp quý vị hiểu cái kinh. Because let me tell you from my perspective, the teacher is supposed to help you verify that he's consistent with the Buddha's teachings. Okay. Did you know why? Giờ đối với thầy, cái người thầy mà giỏi thường thường phải quan trọng cái sự giúp đỡ quý vị, thấy rằng cái lời dạy của mình nó tương ứng với lời dạy của Phật. Tại sao như vậy? Why is that? Bhante, why is that? Why is it, Shana? Why is it the teacher wants, a good teacher wants to make sure, help you and make sure that you understand that her teaching is consistent with the Buddha's teaching? It's not going to disguise it. You say, okay, let's see if you agree with that my teaching is consistent with the Buddha's teaching or not. Why is that? So instead of distorting the Buddha's teaching, he says, this is what the Buddha says. This is what I say. Okay? So the teacher wants to make sure you understand it's consistent. It's part of the teaching is make sure it's consistent. That you understand it's consistent. Why is that? Tại sao vậy? Yes, Anna.
Living by the examples, I mean, living the way the teachings of the Buddha.
Yeah.
Is the question why?
Why would the teacher, a good teacher, his job is to make sure that you see the teaching is consistent? There's many reasons. One reason is that if your understanding verifies, it's kind of different. It's kind of difficult for you to understand. If you really understand it's consistent, it means you're making progress.
You make progress.
You're making progress because you see that it's consistent.
That makes sense. That's good.
You continue to make progress. That's why you see it's consistent. Okay. Anyway, so the teacher from Mahayana perspective, we pick a teacher first. Okay, we choose a teacher. We don't choose the Dharma. We don't worry about the Dharma because we realize that the Dharma is too profound for us. It's too vast. You see that? It's like this much. You as a lay person kneel. Okay? How much time do you have? You only have this, half an hour to deal with an hour to come to meditation, and that's all you have. You cannot afford to sit there and look at this vast ocean and say, you have no idea where to get started. Right? You can't. It's too vast. That's my first exposure to Mahayana. I said, I don't know what this is about. This is way too much. I can't handle this. Tại vì bên Đại Thừa mình chúng ta bỏ cái bước đầu là ngay chọn cái pháp, mà tại sao? Tại vì quý vị nhất người tại gia đó, họ không có thì giờ, làm sao dám chọn nhìn cái đại dương được? You need to choose a beach. Okay? And start sunbathing there. Or go swimming there first. You can't say, I'm going to tackle the whole ocean. Right? So you can't. It makes no sense at all to look at the entire ocean for us. Okay? Đại thừa mình rất là thực tiễn. Mình nói là làm sao mình nhìn được cái rộng như vậy, những cách nào mình nhìn được cái rộng. Okay? And yes, we want to learn about the Dharma, but it's through a teacher. Am I making sense?
Yes.
Yes. The steps are consistent. We just get to the heart of it right away.
It needs
someone to help you. This is how you're going to get started.
And
okay?
Another thing that when we choose a teacher, Buddha has mentioned you have to find 5 qualities better than the student. We have to see the qualities.
Very good.
From
Let's
teaching.
see. This is very good. See, he's erudite. Bhante Ratana is very, very. He is very. He knows a lot of sutras, and especially in Pali. Okay, that's why he keeps on reciting things in Pali every single day, every single time I talk to him. But he says here, when you choose a teacher, the teacher has to be better than you in 5 aspects, right? Okay, thầy Ratana thầy nói, thầy rất là nghiên cứu sách rất là nhiều. Thầy nói đúng, bên Nguyên Thủy thì khi mà quý vị chọn thầy phải chọn người thầy mà hơn quý vị trong ba cái đặc tính. Yes, you remember what those 5 are?
Yes, first one is Saddha. Saddha means understanding and faith.
Understanding and faith.
Yes.
Okay. Hiểu và cái lòng tin. What is understanding and what is faith?
Understanding faith means the meaning of the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha.
Okay.
Yes. Faith, you know that. And next one is Sila, morality.
So the teacher has to understand more about the Dharma than you, right?
No. The faith which has reasonable faith, not unreasonable faith.
The teacher, I don't know, I don't quite understand your point. The teacher here is better than you.
Yes.
In what
always.
aspect?
Yes.
In his understanding of the Dharma.
No, it is the last one. The Saddha, Sila, Sutta, Chaga, Panya. Panya is last one.
Okay.
First one is Saddha. Saddha means understanding reasonable faith.
What does it mean? Give example.
You know that when we can explain faith many ways, devotion and this kind of the devotion on the gods and devotion. It is not Buddhist thing. Devotion is not Buddhist thing. According to Theravada tradition, the devotion is not Buddhist thing. It is on the. It belongs to the other religions.
Devotion.
Yes.
Faith.
Faith is reasonable faith.
Reasonable faith.
Yes.
Why does the teacher have to be better than you in reasonable faith?
We call it Shraddha because the faith built with understanding or without understanding.
Okay, let's go on to 2. I'm not sure I understand. Number 2 is what?
Sila is morality.
Better than you morality.
Yes.
Yes. Number 3.
Saddha, Sila, Sutta is he has more experience about the practicing.
So he knows the practice.
Yes.
Yes. Number 4.
Chaga means generosity.
Generosity. Okay.
Yes, yes.
Number 5.
5 is wisdom.
Wisdom.
Panya.
Okay. And faith, the first one is reasonable faith.
Yes.
Meaning he's what?
Meaningful faith. Meaningful faith, I think. Yes.
Meaning what?
Meaning means, as a Buddhist, we do many things, meaningful thing and meaningless things, normally. As a way to liberation, we select many ritual and things as Buddhist things. So then we have to do this kind of things meaningfully. So if a teacher has a reasonable faith or meaningful faith, so then it is very important to his become a teacher. So as a student, we have to understand that, and teacher also has to a higher level of that reasonable faith.
It's not clear to me what you mean by that. there's some overlap here in the 5 aspects. I understand about sila,
Yes.
morality.
Second one.
I understand about experience, number 3.
Yes. Sutta, yes.
Number 4 is
Chaga.
generosity.
Chaga.
I understand that. It's
Yeah.
important.
Yes.
Number 5, wisdom. I understand that. But
Yeah.
number 1, I don't understand why faith. What this faith refers to. These are very important aspects. I agree. But
You know,
I don't understand number 1.
Some teachers, we can see they advise to do this thing, but they don't do that kind of things. So, because they have no enough faith. So, but I think
Can I put it in terms of being good example? Setting a good example? Teaching by doing? Teaching by example?
no, you know that I can say like this. In our university, we have many teachers, many lecturers, but they can explain the Dhamma, but they have no faith on Dhamma.
They're not putting it into execution. They're not doing it. They're just only talking.
Yes, they do their job as a lecturer, but they never go to the temple.
But what does it have to do with faith? You use the word
If they
faith.
have faith, they go to temple and as a intellect.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Maybe you're saying he doesn't believe his own words. Like
Yes. Something. Yes.
He does not believe what he's teaching.
Yes.
Right?
He can
Yes.
say the words, but he's not really believing.
Yes, he
So
said
he's not putting it into practice. He's not practicing it.
yes. Actually, if someone want to practice, then he has to faith on it. So that's why faith is.
Okay, so let me elaborate. I go backwards because I feel more comfortable going backwards today. Okay, I'm driving on R. Put on my okay. The 5 things, 5 cái khía cạnh mà người thầy phải giỏi hơn mình. Okay, the 5 things your teacher has to be better than you. According to Bhante, number 1, he's wiser. Thứ nhất, có trí huệ hơn quý vị. Right? It's clear. We agree on that. He's wiser than you. Number 2, he is more generous than you. Thứ nhì, là rộng lượng hơn quý vị. We agree on that. Yes or no?
Yes.
Why is it generosity important to you? Tại sao mình phải rộng lượng? Tại sao người thầy phải rộng lượng hơn quý vị?
So you know that he's not greedy.
Teacher has to be an example.
Huh?
Teacher has to be example.
Shana says so that he's not greedy. Để ông thầy không được tham lam. Yes.
Well, he's sharing what he learned.
Yes, and he has to
Same thing.
enough. Actually, here the generosity is not the external thing. His wisdom, his compassion, and this kind of thing he has to give to the students.
Yeah, they all agree. They give to the students. They all agree. Yeah. Ai cũng rộng lượng. Yeah. Why does teacher have to be more generous than you?
Oh, so you know that teacher doesn't give you the teaching for his own interest.
Because ultimately he's supposed to give. He's not supposed to take from you.
Right.
Amen to that.
If he's not generous, he's going to take from you more than he gives you.
That's right.
That's why you want to make sure he's more generous than you. Agree? That's the bottom line. If I learn from you, Bhante, I want to make sure you're more generous than I am. Because otherwise, I go near you, you're going to take more from me than I give you. Then you're not teaching me anymore.
Because with your wisdom, you don't keep your wisdom to yourself. You give generosity, the generous
Generosity.
knowledge of the Buddha teachings.
Bottom line, Anna, is that, okay, if someone wants to teach you, he or she has to give you more than takes from you.
It's very important.
That's why they are more generous. They choose to give more than they take from you. Agree?
Right.
That's how they can teach. It's the only way they can teach you. Otherwise, you take more from you than they give you, guess what? And one day, you're going to get upset and say, gee, it's about time you give me something. Okay? And you don't want to learn anymore. Okay? So the teacher's job, by the way, is you have to be generous. You cannot be a teacher unless you're generous. That's the bottom line, really. If you out there in the teaching profession, you have to be generous. It's an ideal. This is why the teaching profession is an ideal for idealists. It doesn't pay. We all know that. Okay? It doesn't pay that much. It's not worth it. But you do it because you like to give, because you're generous. You have an ideal. You want to give. That's why you become a teacher. See how wise the Buddhist teaching is. It's just very factual. You cannot teach unless you give. Okay? You understand that? Okay. So you have wisdom, you have generosity. Number 3, you have more experience. Okay. Thứ ba là quý vị có cái kinh nghiệm. Why? Because basically, why? Because basically, he has to be able to know how to do it. If he doesn't know how to do it, how can he train you? Thứ ba là kinh nghiệm. Tại nếu cái người thầy mà không biết cách làm, sao mà dạy người học trò, chỉ người học trò cách làm bây giờ? Okay? We agree? It's intuitive, right? It's very good. It makes very much sense. We all agree on. It's clear to everyone. Number 4, okay, is morality. Thứ tư là cái đạo đức. Why is that? Morality, so that he will never hurt you. Okay, you can hurt him, but he cannot hurt you. Let's face it. Okay, you can do stupid things to him, but he cannot do stupid things to you. Agree? That's how you go near him. Otherwise, if he hurts you more than you hurt him, then you better get away from him. Agree? These are very practical reasons. Cái thứ tư là các người thầy phải có đạo đức hơn quý vị. Tại sao? Tại vì quý vị tới gần người thầy mà người thầy thiếu đạo đức, người thầy sẽ hại quý vị. You draw near evil people, they're gonna hurt you. No two ways about it. Quý vị tới gần những người có gian ác, người ta sẽ hại quý vị. Agree? No two ways about it. That's why the morality is important. Okay? He has to be more virtuous than you. Cái người thầy phải có đạo đức hơn quý vị. Okay? And finally, number 5 is reasonable faith. I don't know what he means. Năm là có cái meaning I believe that he's actually practicing what he preaches. Okay? I don't know.
The wisdom.
Is it faith? Is it he actually doing what he's talking about?
Practice what he's preaching.
Yeah.
You're practicing what you say.
You're doing what you claim. If you say do good, then you also have to do it before you talk about it. Is that what you're talking about? I'm not clear. Number 5. Number 1.
I told that example. Some of our lectures in universities, they can explain. They know everything. They have enough.
But they don't do it.
They don't do it. They never go to temple.
Yeah.
And something like
that. Yeah. So the number 5 is that you have to practice what you preach. He's doing it better than you. Okay?
Yes.
Right. So actually that's in Buddhism is called teaching by example. If you talk about goodness, you better do it yourself before you talk about it. And bên Phật giáo mình là cái thứ 5 là cái gì nói thì phải làm rồi mới nói. In Mahayana, actually we have a different slant. We do it, then we talk about it. If we can't do it, then we don't talk about it. Đại thừa mình làm trước khi mình nói. Mình làm được thì đừng có nói. Okay? Any questions about this? Does it help? So this is very good. These are 5 aspects are very good. These are common sense, but that intuitively that makes sense to you. But it's good to point it out to you how to pick a teacher, right? Yeah. Cái này quý vị nhận ra được cái người thầy bằng cách 5 khía cạnh đó. Okay. All right, time is up. We tend to go over time. So today let's end right here and go to lunch. All right, we continue our discussion next time. Thank you. Very good. Thank you very much. Do you see any difference today during meditation? I'm asking you. Cái này cái gì thấy gì khác không? Asking. Do you feel any difference when you meditate?
Dạ, lúc làm